Imagine stepping onto the scale one morning only to see it jump by 1.5 kilograms. Your first instinct is panic, because it feels like all your effort collapsed overnight. But before fear takes over, remember one simple calculation that changes everything. To gain 1.5 kilograms of real fat, you would need to consume more than 11,000 calories. That is the equivalent of eating around 20 Big Macs in a single day. You did not do that, and your body knows you did not do that. So the weight pressing down on your scale is not fat, but fluid quietly held beneath your skin. This is the first paradox of weight loss, the illusion of failure, when biology is simply protecting you. Your adipose tissue is surprisingly dry, storing energy but holding very little water. Your muscles, however, behave like biological sponges soaked with fluid bound to glycogen. Harvard researchers describe this as a metabolic reservoir, where every gram of stored glycogen binds 3 to 4 grams of water. This is why fluctuations feel dramatic, even when fat mass has not changed at all. But water weight is not just about glycogen. It is about hormones acting like invisible gatekeepers. Deep within your brain, the hypothalamus functions like an air traffic control tower. When it senses dehydration, stress, or toxic load, it increases secretion of ADH, also known as vasopressin. This hormone travels to your kidneys and turns the valves inward, instructing them to hold water at all costs. Your body is not bloating to sabotage you. It is bloating to protect your internal pressure. And this leads to a second twist, the dehydration paradox that confuses millions every morning. Alcohol strips water rapidly because it suppresses vasopressin, flushing your system too quickly. But the moment your liver detects rising toxicity, ADH rebounds with urgency to prevent collapse. This rebound effect is why your face looks swollen the morning after drinking. It is not vanity, it is emergency hydraulics restoring internal balance. You can even test your retention right now using the simple pitting edema test at your ankle. Press gently for a few seconds and watch whether the imprint lingers longer than it should. If it does, your tissues are holding more water than your metabolism prefers. But a deeper mystery remains, and it hides in plain sight on your face and your abdomen. Why does fluid choose these two places to accumulate first, instead of spreading evenly? The answer begins with a quiet hormone released under stress, and it reshapes your entire silhouette. That story begins in the next section, and it changes how you see your own reflection forever. You have seen this look before, the blend of exhaustion and tension hiding behind someone's eyes. People skip breakfast, replace food with caffeine, and push themselves through intense HIIT sessions. Yet their belly stays swollen. Their face appears fuller, and nothing feels proportional to their effort. This isn't laziness or failure, it is the unseen weight of hormonal stress shaping their reflection. Deep in your brain, the HPA axis sharpens its vigilance when stress becomes the background of life. Harvard Medical School notes that persistent cortisol elevation quietly rewrites how your body manages water. Cortisol behaves like an imitator, stepping into roles never meant for it to play. Its structure resembles aldosterone, the hormone that instructs your kidneys how to balance sodium. When cortisol rises too high, it slips into aldosterone's receptors and distorts their signals. Your kidneys respond by hoarding sodium, releasing potassium, and pulling water into your tissues. This is what rounds the cheeks, swells the undereyes, and thickens the lower abdomen. What many call moon face is not fat, but your body's attempt to stabilize blood pressure. The paradox is striking. Your body appears larger not from excess, but from self-protection. Even your workouts can amplify this swelling when intensity overwhelms your ability to recover. Overtraining pushes cortisol higher, repeating the same retention pattern no matter how much you sweat. This explains why people who train the hardest often look puffier instead of leaner. Stanford research shows that sleeping fewer than 6 hours disrupts renal filtration the next day. With filtration slowed, sodium stays longer, And water follows the same silent magnetic pull. So the heaviness in your face or belly may not be stubborn fat at all. It may be the residue of sleepless nights, relentless pressure, and a metabolism trying to cope. Once you see this pattern clearly, the frustration begins to make sense in a new way. But stress is only one of the forces holding water inside your body. Another influence sits right inside your kitchen, shaping fluid balance through a mechanism far more subtle. And understanding that mechanism requires rewinding everything you think you know about carbohydrates. You've probably had this moment before. A single indulgent meal makes your weight jump overnight. You panic, thinking the effort of an entire week vanished in just a few hours. But this isn't fat accumulating instantly. It is your energy storage system filling its shelves again. Deep inside your body, glycogen acts like a sponge, waiting for its chance to refill. Glycogen is stored in your liver and muscles, binding tightly to water like an eager magnet. Harvard physiology textbooks describe this ratio clearly. 1 gram of glycogen holds 3 to 4 grams of water. This means a simple, high-carb meal can pull more than a kilogram of water back into your tissues. It feels dramatic because it happens quickly, but none of it reflects real fat gain. Your body is simply restoring fuel in preparation for movement, recovery, and metabolic stability. Yet carbohydrates influence water retention through more than just the glycogen reservoir. Insulin, released after carb-rich meals, acts as an anti-natriuretic signal inside your kidneys. Stanford researchers explain that when insulin rises, the distal tubules reabsorb sodium more aggressively. Sodium retention pulls water along with it, amplifying the swelling already created by glycogen storage. This is why cheat meals feel heavier than they should. Their impact is hydraulic, not adipose. But here's the counterintuitive twist. This mechanism is not your enemy at all. Athletes rely on this water-binding effect because it hydrates muscles and improves performance. For sedentary people, however, the same mechanism creates the illusion of sudden weight gain. Your body isn't punishing you for eating carbs. It's adjusting its pressure systems to maintain equilibrium. The real challenge emerges when carbohydrate intake is inconsistent and your metabolism swings unpredictably. Heavy carb days followed by restrictive days force large shifts in insulin and sodium handling. This roller coaster creates visible bloating, even though you haven't gained a single gram of fat. And that's why many people cut carbs but still remain swollen. The missing piece is elsewhere. Because another element quietly decides how much water your cells can actually hold or release. It is not sugar, not cortisol, and not stress, but an overlooked mineral that shapes cellular fluid. And once you understand how this mineral controls the sodium-potassium pump, the entire picture changes. Most people believe drinking more water always reduces bloating. But biology rarely follows simple rules. In reality, plain water without minerals can quietly worsen the swelling you're trying to escape. Your cells depend on a delicate electrical balance, a polarity maintained by the sodium-potassium pump. This pump, called Na plus K plus ATPase, works like a microscopic engine embedded in every cell membrane. Its job is simple yet essential: move sodium out and pull potassium in to create electrical stability. When this pump functions smoothly, water flows naturally, leaving no reason for your tissues to swell. But modern diets disrupt this equilibrium with near-perfect consistency. We consume excessive sodium from processed foods, while potassium-rich vegetables barely reach our plates. The imbalance traps water outside your cells, creating that soft, puffy look around your midsection. Harvard nutrition research highlights this pattern often. High sodium plus low potassium equals predictable retention. But minerals require more than just presence. They require activation. That activation depends on magnesium, the quiet conductor few people realize they are missing. Without magnesium, the sodium-potassium pump slows down like an engine running low on fuel. Cells lose their ability to push sodium out, and water becomes stranded in the extracellular space. This is why hydration feels incomplete when you drink only plain water without electrolytes. Your body isn't dehydrated from volume, it's dehydrated from imbalance. Here's the paradox many never expect. Drinking more water can make you look more bloated. Plain water dilutes electrolytes further, slowing the pump and trapping even more fluid. Meanwhile, a drink rich in potassium and magnesium can pull water through your system effortlessly. This is why coconut water makes some people feel lighter within an hour despite having calories. It restores the electrical environment your kidneys and cells need to release trapped fluid. Osmolality, the concentration of solutes in your blood, matters far more than raw water intake. Your body doesn't count how much water enters. It measures whether that water is usable. And when the minerals align, the release is immediate, subtle, and unmistakably relieving. But fluid isn't the only culprit behind the swollen belly so many people battle each day. Another hidden force expands your abdomen from the inside, not with water, but with air. And that force emerges not from hormones or minerals, but from trillions of microscopic residents living in your gut. Not all swelling is water, and your belly knows this distinction better than you think. Some days, the abdomen expands so quickly, it feels like something inflated from the inside. This is not retention, it is fermentation, a biological reaction shaped by your gut's tiny citizens. Your digestive tract houses trillions of bacteria, each with unique appetites and behaviors. Most belong in the large intestine, where fermentation is expected and harmless. But sometimes, these microbes wander upward into the small intestine, a place never meant for them. This condition is known as SIBO, or small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Stanford gastroenterologists describe SIBO as misplaced fermentation, a process that traps gas where escape is limited. When bacteria feast on food meant for you, they release hydrogen and methane as metabolic waste. These gases push outward, stretching your abdomen and creating sharp pressure after meals. Healthy foods can worsen this if the wrong bacteria dominate the small intestine. Apples, garlic, onions, and cauliflower, rich in FODMAPs, become fuel for rapid fermentation. Instead of nourishment, they become air generators that inflate your belly like a balloon. This is why some people look lean in the morning and 6 months pregnant by evening. But digestion has another secret system that keeps this chaos under control. Between meals, the gut activates the migrating motor complex, or MMC. Harvard's gastrointestinal research calls it the housekeeper wave, sweeping debris and bacteria downward. The MMC only turns on when you stop eating for several hours. Snacking every 90 minutes disables this wave, leaving food residue stagnant in your small intestine. That stagnation becomes a buffet for bacteria, accelerating bloating and fermentation. Even sugar-free gums can worsen the process through sugar alcohols like sorbitol and xylitol. These compounds pull water into the gut and ferment rapidly under bacterial influence. But here lies the hopeful turn, because bloating from gas follows predictable patterns you can reverse. Restoring MMC rhythm, adjusting meal timing, and supporting gut motility can calm the internal pressure. Now comes the part most people search for, the moment where understanding becomes measurable change. If bloating and water retention can appear overnight, your body also holds the tools to reverse them quickly. The first tool is lowering insulin just long enough for your kidneys to unlock their internal valves. A short low-carb window, paired with a simple 16-8 fasting structure, lowers insulin within hours. When insulin drops, sodium exits the renal tubules, and water follows in a clean, steady release. This alone can reduce 1 to 2 kilograms of water weight without touching your fat stores. The second tool is restoring mineral balance, because water leaves the body only when electrolytes permit. Foods rich in potassium, spinach, salmon, avocados, rebalance your intracellular gradients almost immediately. Magnesium then activates the sodium-potassium pump, the molecular switch that drains extracellular fluid. Together, these minerals turn stagnant water into circulating water your body can finally eliminate. The third tool is movement, but not the exhausting kind people assume they need. Gentle walking or light rebounding stimulates the lymphatic system, the silent drainage network without a pump. This movement clears facial puffiness, ankle swelling, and lower belly retention far faster than intense exercise. The fourth tool is a warm drink engineered to calm the gut and stimulate smooth fluid flow. Warm water with apple cider vinegar, lemon citrate, fresh ginger, and a pinch of mineral salt works well. Optional cream of tartar adds potassium, supporting hydration and reducing bloat through improved motility. This is not detox mythology. It is biochemistry aligned with the systems you've learned about today. But fast results must always stay within safe boundaries, especially when fluids shift rapidly. People with kidney disease cannot use potassium supplementation without medical oversight. Those with gout must avoid extremely rapid water drops that may spike uric acid. And diuretics, over-the-counter or herbal, should never be used casually for cosmetic weight changes. The real transformation comes from giving your body what it needs to release what it does not. When insulin falls, minerals rebalance, and lymph begins to move. Bloating softens with remarkable speed. Water leaves your tissues, your abdomen lightens, and your reflection finally matches the work you've done. Your body has never been your enemy. It has simply been waiting for the right instructions. Treat it with clarity, not punishment, and it responds with the lightness you've been searching for. Hope this video was valuable to you, and see you in the next one.